All right, guys, it is time to bring in Tyvis Powell to the show and talk a little bit about the end of the Brendan Sorsby saga. We learned yesterday that the NFLPA and Brendan Sorsby will not be pursuing further legal action. And with that, Sorsby will be eligible for the 2027 NFL draft. He will not face any punishment. Some of the details we learned in this situation: the matter for 2026 is closed. Sorsby won't sue. The NFL will not discipline him for known prior misconduct when he enters the draft next season, but the NFL does reserve the right to take prior misconduct into consideration if he's busted for any gambling allegations. Again, Tyvis, we were texting back and forth on this yesterday. Is this a fair outcome for both sides, or did the NFL let Sorsby off soft?
I think that it's a fair outcome because I look at it like this. One, if Brandon Sorsby was to sue, I think he could potentially win that lawsuit, right? Because I think that they are unfair. He was able to get his application in the right time. They should have been able to let him be in a supplemental draft. However, the problem is Brandon Sorsby don't have enough money to compete with the NFL, so he will go broke trying to fight this case. He might win the case, but he gonna go broke. And if he did win that case, the NFL then will suspend him, just like they did Terrell Pryor, just like they did Jim Tressel. He probably would have served a suspension. So they said, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. Let's just cancel all of that. We gonna let's just say that this year we're gonna serve as your suspension. 2027, you're free to come in the league. You won't have to worry about no suspension. You're good to go. And I think that's probably what the conversation was, and that's probably how they landed on here. So to me, that's a fair thing, because I think he was going to have to serve a suspension no matter what. So let's just go ahead and get it out of the way.
Well, Tyvis, let me ask you a question. The CFL has come out and basically said that they weren't going to allow him to play. The NFL has kind of ruled on it. I agree with you. I think it's a fair assessment. I mean, it happened years prior to this. He did try to go back to he did go to rehab. He did complete that. But I think it is also in his best interest to just kind of like, all right, look, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna accept responsibility for it, and I'm gonna move forward. And him and his agent can document his progress, whether that's still getting ongoing treatment, whether that's making sure that, they document that fact that he hasn't gambled or he's changed his life. And I think that'll help him a lot. My question is, as an athlete, as a player, especially at quarterback, we talked about it with Deshaun Watson and sitting out a year, how that affects your ability to play the game, because the processing, it needs to be so fast. You need to have reps. What is his best option to stay in game shape and in game ready if he can't play in the CFL and he's not going to play in the NFL? What options would you suggest he go to stay sharp?
It's going to be hard. As you know, as you, me, and Dustin know, the only way to be ready for a game is to play in the game. Like that, you can't really replicate game speed. So it's going to be hard. I would say if I was him, seriously though, one person that took a lot of time off, came back and was pretty decent was Phillip Rivers. We seen Phillip Rivers do it last year for the Colts. He played a handful of games and he looked pretty good for a guy that's been out of the league for 5 years or something like that. So, obviously the problem with Brandon Sorsby is he's never seen the NFL speed. Even the highest level of college football doesn't equate to what you're going to see in the NFL, right? So he's never seen it. Therefore, he won't be ready for it. It's going to be, first of all, I don't think he's going first round. I think that those days are over with. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him at some point, whether that's second or beyond. But the first round thing, I think, is dead. I just think that for him, he's got to be able to at least be able to speak the language, be able to pick up on playbooks really, really fast. Because think about it. If you're a coach, right, and you're going after a quarterback, the thing that you want to do is you don't want to have to spend time reteaching something, having to teach him how to do something. You want him to have a good foundation, and you want to be able to build already on the stuff that he already knows. Well, he needs to find the terminology or something like that as close as possible to something that a lot of NFL coaches relate to, and be able to spit that out. His chalkboard work should be unbelievable. His film preparation should be unbelievable. But as far as the speed of the game, again, he's not going to be able to get that until he gets to OTAs or a training, whatever the case may be. So that part's lost.
Yeah, he may be, a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to some of that stuff when he gets to camp. But funnily enough, I think that him not playing this year is actually going to help his draft stock. I think it's going to help his draft stock in terms of, like, he was already being talked about maybe second round, third round with the supplemental draft. So who knows what would have happened had he been able to enter the supplemental draft. But here's the deal. He just got all this publicity this go round, and now he's going to just have all this time to go work. Like, he's essentially going to become the combine king in the next year. Like, he can learn everything he's got to know to blow these NFL scouts away. And the one thing I'd say about him is, like, had he played this year, he could play himself out of position. A lot of guys who are going to go, there's no, like, for sure. I mean, Arch Manning obviously is, like, a talked about name because he's a Manning. He played really well at the end of last year. But
Dante Moore is probably the number one guy.
Sure. But Dante Moore can play himself out of being the number one guy. Like, all these guys can play themselves out. Brendan Sorsby can play himself in because he's not going to be on the field. Like, he's going to be able to go to the combine. He's going to have all this hype. And the questions about his sobriety will then be answered because they'll have a year under his belt to prove to them, hey, this is what this guy's done. This is XYZ. This is the meetings he's gone to, how many meetings he's been to, whatever it may be. And at that point in time, teams will be feeling like this dude could be squeaky clean. He's got all of it together now. I don't know, man. I think it could actually help him.
What I would say about that, Dustin, is I would say that I would agree with you, but the problem is there are just too many quarterbacks potentially coming out. Like, there's like 7 quarterbacks that's supposed to come out this year. That's why it's supposed to be this generational draft of all these great quarterbacks. I know we say that every year, but that's supposed to be the case. So for him, now what I will say, what he got going in his favor is Drew Aller was the guy who wasn't that good in the first half of the season. Got hurt, missed the second half of the season, and I think he parlayed that into when the Steelers take him, 3rd or 4th round or something like that?
4th round.
Okay,
4th round.
like he parlayed himself into a 4th round pick. Why? Because of how good he looked at the combine, because of how good he looked at pro day, because he had that arm strength that was just undeniable. See, Brendan Sorsby issue is that a lot of the stuff, if you go back and watch his highlights, a lot of his big time plays comes from his legs. He made them with his legs. I mean, he's made some big time throws, but a lot of the stuff happened because of his legs. And that was one of the reasons why I struggled to have him in the 1st round, is because consistently he hasn't just beat somebody with his arm. It's always been the leg part. So he's got to really focus on making sure he can fit those balls in those tight windows and stuff, because that's what he's going to have to deal with on the NFL level. Like, the mobility thing is great. Yeah, he's not Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but like, yeah, that's great. But at the end of the day, everybody knows that if your quarterback wants to run all the time, guess what we're going to do? We're not going to rush you. We're going to make you stand in that pocket, not rush, and make you beat us with your arm. That's just what's going to happen with him. If he can't do that consistently, then he's not going to be in the league for a long time.
I assume he's going to the UFL now. It looks like he doesn't have any other options. So can the UFL make him better? And then also, if you were advising him, who should he pair himself with over the next year? Like, I mean, everybody knows the John Gruden film sessions that he does with quarterbacks. Is it Gruden, or is there somebody else out there better for quarterbacks that he should move in with and be tied to for the next year that can develop him as best as they can for the NFL between now and next year's draft?
Yeah, I think Gruden definitely would probably be the number one answer for a lot of people because of the film stuff. Like I said, he's got to be able to impress these coaches with his mind. Again, I tell a lot of people, like, the NFL is really above shoulders. Like, a lot of physical ability is about the same for a lot of people. Yeah, you got some guys that's arm strength is a little bit better, but for the most part, it's about knowing where to go with the football, getting the ball out in a timely manner, and all of those things. So that's where he's going to have to win, because he's behind the 8 ball on the physical as far as showing what he can do. So Gruden probably would be the best person to get him NFL ready for the mind of what a coach would want and what they're going to ask and what they want to see. As far as the physicals go, I really don't know too many quarterback coaches. Again, the only quarterback coach I know and the only one that I care about is my son, Cardale Jones, and I got his number if he needs to get trained by Cardale Jones. Outside of that, Football is football. Yeah, the UFL, though, like I said, to me, I threw that out there to y'all. Again, I still don't think that's a bad option if you really want to be in the huddle and you want to be around the game and you want to show that you can make throws. Because, again, if you're this first-round talent, it should be like you should go there and it should be stealing for you. So if you want to just continue to compete and be in NFL action, I know these players all, flopped out of the NFL and is trying to get back. But if you want to get to a place like that where you could just put film up, maybe get with a coach that is speaking what the NFL coach is speaking, then the UFL wouldn't be a bad thing. Then the Aviators would love to have him down here.
He should be the best player in the UFL, no?
Yeah.
Easily. It wouldn't even be close.
Well, that's if Tyvis Powell wasn't in the UFL, you would probably say you're the best player.
If I was in the UFL, like I would be like, you ever heard of Ed Reed? Like that would be me. Like it would be like Steve. Yeah.
No, we got to let you go on that one. He said Ed Reed. He could have said something else. He said Eduardo Reed. This guy, you're out of pocket, bro. We got to go McNuggets, man. Get him off the sticks, man.
We appreciate you. See you next week, man.
See you, buddy.
See you, bro.